All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto YAHWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Also want to give double honors unto the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect of YAHWAH, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today, as well as you Akim out there enduring this truth across the four corners of the earth, teaching and prophesying through the spirit of Yahweh in truth and sincerity, as well as you men and women that follow, and those who might look like the other nations, but are of the nation of Israel and their father's side by blood. So, like, I just wanted to make sure it was the sound was on. Sometimes my mic be plugged up, so I'll be having to double check. I don't know exactly what the title. I thought about titling this video. They hanging it up. When I had seen this picture right here, that's what I thought of. This is the actual website that it came from, but I'm gonna read it from. I mean, this just breaks it down a little bit more, you know. But I'm gonna read it in off of here, End Time Headline, because it kind of condenses it, you know. So as you can see the title of it, it says America's pastor pipeline is collapsing, threatening local leadership. And when I first seen it, I remember doing a lesson similar to this like 2 years ago. And what was going on is the pastors that was in there was pretty much getting older and about ready to retire. And there was no young, motivated pastors to replace them, you know. And at the end of the day, it's just been shown, you know, that that old trick just doesn't work, right? People running into the church like they used to. It's just, man, it's just so much going on. All right, people are overwhelmed. People are ready to crash out. People, you know, you used to can just go to church and it seems like everything got better, but we just in a time of judgment, man. You know, and the Lord ain't in them houses, you know, them church houses. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this article. It says a sharp decline in Americans entering the ministry is accelerating a leadership crisis in churches across the United States, hollowing out one of the nation's oldest civic institutions at a time of shrinking congregation and rising pressure on clergy. According to the reports from Axios, fewer people are pursuing pastoral roles as the position becomes lower paid, higher risk, and less trusted, creating a growing vacuum, especially in rural areas and Black communities, right? And that's part of it too. A lot of ain't no answers, you know. I'm sure people be having questions. You know, you got the ones that go to church knowing about the Israelites more and more now through the Spirit. All right, so I'm sure they ask their pastors questions, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna just get straight to the point. The truth is, with Great Millstone and the men that teach the same, teach the like doctrine, all right, and is given by Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI through the spirit of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, man. All right, now I was gonna get in this, and you know, you got your numbers and all of the numbers game, and at the end of the day, there's like I said, nobody really wants to take on the responsibility, right, of serving in these churches. These people, some of these pastors are getting older and they're ready to pass the torch, but there's nobody there, right? You got some pastors teaching at multiple churches. It's like, You know, it is crazy because I was just talking to somebody today, and they was telling me at their son's school, there's teachers teaching multiple grades, and I'm like, how the hell they do that? Well, they'll have one grade in the morning, and the other grade is on their tablet, and then they'll reverse and switch out the roles. I'm like, oh man, that's too much, because nobody wants to be teachers anymore either, for whatever reason. I know I did a lesson on that in a particular high school in my city years back, and what it was from is dealing with the children, dealing with those high schoolers. They had to deal with the vape pens and deal with the attitudes, and you know how these YNs are. They be willing to fight the teachers and all of that, especially them young girls. You know, they really smelling themselves. All of them be ready to crash out on the teachers, and it's like, I don't get paid for that. You know, we didn't grow up in an era like that. You fighting your teachers, and even fighting parents. Kids fight their parents nowadays. It's like that's too much, man. You know, but it's part of it, man. It's part of the downfall of this society. So I was reading 1 Corinthians 9, and Paul was pretty much speaking on how him teaching the gospel, if he wanted to, he could benefit off of the gospel in a sense of the gospel taking care of him, and rightfully so. You know, we pay tithes and give alms. You know what I'm saying, to the apostles. Okay, and it's in the scriptures. You know, and but as he was going into this, he's like, it's not about that. You know. Yeah, you know, get taken care of and all of that, but it's just not about that. I got a job to do, you know, pretty much is what he was saying. I got a job to do. All right, so I'm going to just start here in 1 Corinthians 9 and 15. It says, but I have used none of these things, neither have I written these things, that it should be so done unto me. For it were better for me to die than that any man should make my glorying void. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yeah, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. So, and we all know what Paul went through, you know, being against the church, and then the Lord, you know, rebuking him and him repenting, and then him serving the church. All right, in the sense of serving YAHWASHI, preaching the gospel the right way. Okay, and like he said, necessity is laid upon me, and the same is with us through the Spirit, man. We have a job to do our lessons, and be doers of the words and doers of the word and not hearers only. All right, fear the Most High and keep His commandments to our best ability. That's the conclusion of the whole the conclusion of man. All right, this is our job. Okay. It says, for if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. Right? I'm going to get that in the NLT. It says, if I were doing this on my own initiative, I would deserve payment. Right? Like, okay, cool. Give me, you know, whatever the case is. It said, but I have no choice, for the Most High have given me this sacred trust. And that's what it's about, man. You know, the Lord called us, and we have a job to do. He could have called anybody, but through the Spirit, He called us. So as the scriptures say, give diligence to make our calling and election sure. I'm going to stay in the NLT. It says, what then is my pay? It is the opportunity to preach the good news without charging anyone. Huh? Some of you camps out there hear that, man? You know, because it's not about benefiting off of the church. It's about necessity being laid upon us. You know, now if alms and things come with it, they come with it, you know. But it's not, oh, I'm a see these pastors, like they said, it's what was one of the things said, lower pay. The fuck did it say? Yeah. lower paid, higher, like that. It's already a risk. If thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You know, that it's already a risk. All right. Like what we doing here? But they ain't got it in them churches, man. That's what it is. They don't understand the mission when it comes to serving the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. They can call on all the title God and the name Jesus, and they'll be lost until the end of time, man. All right. It says, that's why I never demand my rights when I preach the good news. So he just like, you know, it's not about that when it comes to me. All right. It's about getting the job done, you know. So this is hop in 1 Peter 5:1, and you see the headline. It says, "Serve the Most High, will serve God willingly." So you gotta have a willing mind, man. It says the elders it don't matter if ain't nobody to replace you, then you just keep on going till the Lord call you home, you know. But they use it as a job, you know. Don't get me wrong, this is our profession, but we ain't clocking in, you know. We ain't clocking in and out for this thing. All right. Nah, man, we do our studies and we put up our lessons. We hit the highways, we do our fasting, we keep the holy days. You know, we do these things. They celebrating Easter in these churches, doing Christmas programs and shit. You know, they ain't really doing no, and I'm talking about as a overall, as a whole, in a sense. You know, because you got some churches that do some of the holy days, keep some of the holy days, and teach about certain things that other churches don't. But overall, if you ain't calling on the name Yahweh in the name of His Son YAHWASHI, then it's a wrap, man. But let me get this. 1 Peter 5:1, it says, "The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Hamashiach, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof." Let's see what that is. Sounds like responsibility to me. Episcopeo. So I know it's a watching, you know. Scopeo is to watch, to mark, right? It says to look upon, inspect, oversee, look after, care for, of the care of the church which rested upon the elders. Yeah, that's why we give double honors unto our apostles and our elders, man, because they've been laboring. You know, it's not like Apostle Tahar stepping down and I'm pretty sure through the Spirit he's gonna continue to teach until the Lord tell him not to. This ain't no replacements, you know. And then the young men, they handling their business too. All right, putting up lessons and hitting the highways and doing their studies, from the oldest to the youngest, man. There's no one replacing anybody and retiring and no longer teaching and taking hiatus. All right, some of the camps do. They don't be going out on the highways and in the byways every weekend. They used to go out and now they don't go out. All right. But getting back to it, it says, "Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly." All right. We read this earlier on the highways. It says not by force or constraint, but willingly. Let's see what the willingly says. It says voluntarily, willingly, of one's own accord, right? And also when you go, it relates it to sin willfully, as opposed to sins committed inconsiderately and from ignorance or from weakness. Ooh. All right, but it goes down to what? Doing it voluntarily, willingly, of one's own accord. Nobody's got a gun in your head to teach this word, man. Some people teach it because they probably gaining from it, profiting, filthy lucre, man. All right, but shoot, I'm not getting anything, and I don't want anything. I just want salvation. Yeah, if it be the Lord's will, man. But at the end of the day, it's serving the Heavenly Father, man. He didn't have to give us this. That's what we have to understand. He didn't have to. Oh, that's the spirit, like I say, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. You know, the Lord didn't have to give us this, but He chose to, right? So we got it now. So we got to be responsible with it as well. With great power comes great responsibility, and this is definitely some great power, more than great, man. It says, neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock, meaning you practice what you preach. You set a good example, right? And when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. So some people are seeking corruptible crowns in this very moment, okay? And what they can gain from their congregation. Then you have the honest, integral men who are teaching and prophesying the downfall of this place. All right, looking forward to see the fall of the enemy, understanding that we can't get what we want until they lose what they have. Let me see if it's okay. Yeah, that was it to that. Get a couple more. You definitely got 1 Corinthians, man. It's man, we'll just go to 18. It says, this is 1 Corinthians 1:18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of the Most High. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. And like I said, they're not being trusted as much anymore. They're being less trusted, man, in those churches. All right. Because even when you get in here, it's like, man, it's not good if no pastors step up, because I'm going to just see. Yeah, right here. Black churches, lone pillars of the public health and community services in undeserved areas face similar pressures as do Catholic parishes in minority and low income neighborhoods. Let me see where I read that at. I'm not sure where it's at, but pretty much it was saying in these low places, they would benefit from food aid and all of that. Man, I want to find it because I know I read it. Okay, here we go. It says rural congregations are often the first to feel the strain, with many already relying on shared or part-time pastors. Closures can strip towns of vital informal support networks for food aid, child care, disaster relief, and elder care. No, you just do it because that's the right thing to do. But hey, it's a downfall of this place, right? So going back into 1 Corinthians, this is 1:19. It says, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent, because they don't have the answers, man. All right, the man of the Lord has the answers. All right. It says, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? So those old tricks that used to work to get people to come into church and people to be feeling like everything's going to be all right, it is not working, because the scriptures tell us, Isaiah 33, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. So when the days get evil, we're going to rely on the wisdom that the Lord has given us, because that church wisdom ain't going to get them out of that. Church wisdom going to tell them to take that MOTB. That's what that church wisdom going to do, because they in league with the very ones that's deceiving you, man. All right. Verse 21, it says, for after that in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. So it come down to those who believe, man. All right. For the Jews require a sign and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Hamashiach crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. So he's like, this is what we preaching. You take it or leave it, man. All right. But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Hamashiach, the power of the Most High and the wisdom of the Most High, for those who believe, who can receive it, whom the Lord has allowed to receive it. It says, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren. There we go. We are called. All right. How that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. The Lord ain't calling the Jay-Z's and the Kendrick Lamars and the Drakes and all of them. No, the Lord like to start from the ground up, you know. He done got brothers out the mud, you know. Used to be doing whatever within their lives and repented and changed through the Spirit. It says, verse 27, but the Most High hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, because they're going to overlook it. You know, it ain't as shiny, right? Like when a diamond, it comes up, it's all dirty. Oh, that's might not look right to them. But once it's all cleaned up, polished and shining, now I got value. Well, the Lord got diamonds straight up out, or gold straight up out the dirt, you know, all dirty, but he's cleaning us up through the Spirit, man. And Lord willing, we be at that number, so we'll be able to shine like that gold, you know, be refined as gold. All right. It says 28, and base things of the world and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen, yea, and the things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. So chose people who were nothing to bring the whole little, to outshine the Christianities and the Roman Catholicism and whatever the case is. Because there's only one doctrine out there that's teaching about prophecies, and those prophecies is coming to pass, man. And that's the gospel of YAHWASHI. All right. It says that no flesh should glory in his presence, but of him are ye in Hamashiach YAHWASHI, who of the Most High is made unto us wisdom and righteousness and sanctification and redemption, that according as it is written, he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. So it like he said, if I do teach it, was it worded? Yeah, what then is my payment? You know, I'm gonna do this willingly, right? Last one, it says Ephesians 4:1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called. Let's get that vocation. It says a calling to, invitation to a feast of the divine invitation to embrace salvation of the Most High. So this is a calling. This is an invitation that was given, and it wasn't given out to everybody. You know, it says, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. There you go. There's only one way out of this and one way to survive this, and that's through YAHWASHI, man. All right. So once again, these churches don't have the answer. You know, they're going to continue to lead people astray until the sheep run away. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you is edified, and Lord willing, we allowed to endure unto the end. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.